my children, and welcome back for our science classes. As in this subject, we have already completed our lesson number 1 to 6 along with all the exercises and the question answers. So my children, today we are going to move much more forward in this subject. Today we are going to start the lesson number 7. The lesson number 7 is going to say something about the cell structure and the function. So the lesson number 7 is going to give us the knowledge, something about the cell structure and the function. Now let us see, my child, as we are saying that whenever we are making any house, whenever any house is being made, for the making of the house, for the building of the house, we require the bricks. We require the bricks. For making the house, we require the bricks, and these bricks are in place with one upon the another, and the whole building is being created. Suppose we want, listen very carefully, my child. Suppose we are making a house, we need the bricks. And when these bricks are being arranged one upon the another, the wall of the building is being made, and ultimately when all the other materials are being added like the cement and all, sand and all, iron and all, then the whole building is being made. In the same way as the building is being made up of the bricks and all, iron and all, sand and all, cement and all, in the same way the body of all the living organism, is being made up of the cell. The body of all the living organisms being made up of the cell. So as the bricks are the structural unit of the building. Bricks are the structural unit of the building. In the same way, the cells are the structural unit of the body of the living organism. In this world, we are seeing the different type of the living organism. We can see the microorganism, we can see the plant, we can see the animals, we can see the human beings, my child. So all the living organisms, whatever the living organisms are there in this world, which have the life in them, all the bodies of all the living organisms in this world is being made up of the cell. So how can we define the cell? Cell is defined as the smallest structural and functional unit of an organism. So what is cell? The cell is the smallest structural and the functional unit in the body of the living organism. Now let us see two words again here, the structural and the functional. What does structure mean? Structure means giving shape and size. Structure means giving shape and size, and the functional means carrying out various functions or the processes in the body. Function means carrying out various functions or the processes inside the body. So my children, the basic concept of this lesson is there that the bodies of all the living organisms in this world is being made up of the cell. The cell is the basic structure and the functional unit in the bodies of all the living organisms. Without the cell, the body of the living organism cannot be formed. So the cell is the smallest unit which is making the body of the living organism. Now let us see, my child, how does the cell look and what is the structure of the cell. So listen, my child. Suppose if we are going to see the cell, my child, what are the cells there, my child? Whether it is the plant cell or whether it is the animal cell or whether it is the microorganism, the cell of the microorganism, the cell will have the three basic structures. Suppose this is the cell. So my child, see the outer boundary of the cell. Suppose this is the cell. Listen very carefully, my child, look here. Suppose this is the cell. So the outer boundary of the cell, it is called the cell membrane. membrane, cell membrane. My child, the outer boundary of the cell is called the cell membrane. Now inside the cell membrane, the water-like material or the gel-like material is being present. Now inside the cell, my child, the water-like material or the gel-like material is being present, my child. That is called the cytoplasm. C-Y-T-O, cytoplasm. So my child, after the cell membrane, the water-like material or the gel-like material is being present in the cell, that is called the cytoplasm. Then in the center of the cell, we can see the nucleus. Nucleus. In the center of the cell, we can see the nucleus. This nucleus is the control center of the cell. As our brain is controlling our whole body, the brain is controlling our whole body. In the same way, the nucleus which is being present in the cell, it is controlling the whole cell. The whole cell is working under the control of the nucleus. The nucleus is the control center of the cell, or the nucleus is the brain of the cell. So my child, so what are the cells there? Whether it is the plant cell, animal cell, or the microorganism body cell, all the cells will have the three basic structure. First of all, the outer boundary of the cell is called the cell membrane. Now after the cell membrane, the water-like material or the gel-like material is being present, that is called the cytoplasm. Then in the center of the cell we can see the nucleus. The nucleus is the control center of the cell. So these are the three basic structures which are being found in the cell, whether it is the plant cell or the animal cell or the microorganism cell or the human body cell. But after that there will be some difference in the plant cell and the cell of the microorganism and the cell of the animals. So let us see. Now after that this question comes my child, is actually my child. This cell is so small that we cannot see it with our naked eye. This cell is so small that we cannot see it with the naked eye. We can see the cell only with the help of an instrument called the microscope. So suppose you want to see the cell, the structure of the cell, then you need the microscope. Without the microscope you cannot see the cell. But my child, science is the case of the exceptions. There are some exceptions. For example, my child, suppose you are going to see the hen's egg. Suppose you are seeing the hen's egg. Suppose you are seeing the egg of the hen. The egg of the hen is a single cell. The egg of the cell. Hen, egg. The hen's egg, it is also a single cell. It is also a single cell. So the hen's egg, it is also a single cell. But my child, we can see this hen's egg with the naked eye because this is this much big in size. In the same way, my child, if we are going to see the ostrich, ostrich egg. So my child, it is very big in size. So we can see this ostrich egg also with the naked eye, even though it is also a single cell. It is also a single cell. Or suppose if you are going to see the cell, suppose you are going to see the egg of any bird. All the eggs are just a single cell. They are all single cell, but we can see them with the naked eye. Otherwise, my child, these cells are so small that we cannot see them with the naked eye. We can see them only with the help of the microscope. Suppose you want to see the cell which are there in our body. Suppose we want to see the cell which are in our body. Suppose we want to see the cell which are in the plant body. Or suppose we want to see the cell of which the microorganism body is made up of. All these cells you have to see it under the microscope only. Suppose you want to see the cell of a microorganism, you have to see it under the microscope. Suppose you want to see the cells in the plant body, you have to see with the microscope. Suppose you want to see the cells in the human body, you have to see them with the help of the microscope. So my children, these cells are so small that we cannot see them with the naked eye. We can see them only with the help of the microscope. But there are some exceptions, that some cells can be seen with the naked eye. For example, the eggs of the birds, they are this much big enough that we can see them with the naked eye. For example, the hen's egg and the ostrich egg. Now my child, after that my child, here the question come my child. So I hope that here you might have got the definition of the cell. What is cell? The cell is the basic structure and the functional unit of the body of the living organism. It means the body of all the living organism is being made up of the cell. Without cell, the body of the living organism cannot be made up. And we have also seen the three basic parts of the cell. We have seen that the cell is being made up of the three basic parts. It is the cell membrane, cytoplasm and the nucleus. Then we have also seen that cells are so small that they can be viewed or seen with the help of the microscope only. Now my child, after this we are going to come to the next topic, that is going to say something about the cell. Cells differ in shape, size and number. Cells differ in shape, size and number. Merchant, all the cells with which we are talking, these cells are different from one another in their shape, in their size and in their number. These cells are different from one another in the shape, size and the number. Now let us see how these cells are different in number. Cells differ in number. My children, we have seen, let us see the cells differ in number. You might have heard about the unicellular, unicellular organisms. Unicellular organisms, and second is the multicellular, multicellular organisms, multicellular organisms. So see, cells differ in number. How does the cells differ in number? Actually, my children, suppose the bodies of all the microorganisms, are being made up of only one cell. The body of all the microorganisms are being made up of only one cell. So those organisms whose body is simply made up of only one cell and there are no more cells. Those organisms whose body is simply made up of only one cell, they are called the unicellular organism. Uni means one. Uni means one. So all those organisms whose body is simply made up of only one cell, they are called the unicellular organism. For example, all type of the microorganism, they come under the category of the unicellular organism. Now multicellular organism. Multi means many. Multi means many. So all those organisms whose body is being made up of so many cells, all those organisms whose body is being made up of so many cells, such type of organisms are called the multicellular organism. So my child, multi means many, M-A-N-Y, many. So all those organisms whose body is being made up of so many cells, they are called the multicellular organisms. They are called the multicellular organisms. For example, plants, animals, and the humans. So this is my friend. The body of plant is being made up of so many cells. The body of plant is being made up of so many cells. Body of animals is being made up of so many cells. Bodies of human being is also made up of so many cells. So my child, multi means many. So all those organisms whose body is being made up of so many cells, such type of organisms are called the multicellular organisms. Here the examples are the plant, animals, and the human. Their bodies being made up of so many cells. And as I told you, my child, the unicellular. Uni means one. So those organisms whose body is simply made up of only one cell, such type of organisms are called the unicellular organism. So in this way, cells differ in number. The number of the cells in the case of the unicellular organism is only one, and the number of cells in the case of the multicellular organism is so many. So in this way, the cells differ from one another in the number. So after this, my child, we will come to the topic that is going to say something about cells differ in the shape. So my child, in this way, the cells are differ in number. So those organisms whose body is being made up of only one cell, they will be called the unicellular organism, and those organisms whose body is being made up of so many cells, they will be called the multicellular organism. Now cells differ. Cells differ in size. So my children, as we know that how do the cells differ in size? Actually, the different cells have the different size. So let us see how does these cells differ from size. So a cells can be from a micrometer, micrometer to a few centimeter, centimeter. So my children, cells can be from a micrometer to a few centimeter. All the cells are not of the same size. Some cells can be big, some cells can be small. So cells can be in the size from the micrometer to a few centimeter. It means from the micrometer to a few centimeter, the size of the cell is there. So all the cells cannot be said to be of the same size. So in this way, cells differ from one another in their size. Now after this, my child, we come to the topic that is going to be something about cells differ in shape. My children, the different cells have the different shape according to the function they are going to perform in the body. The different cells have the different shape according to the function they are going to perform in the body. For example, my child, the skin cells are polygonal in shape. Because they have to cover the entire outer surface of your body. The skin cells are polygonal in shape because they have to cover the entire surface of the body. So skin cells, they are polygonal, Polygonal, polygonal in shape. So my since the skin on your body, the skin have to cover the entire outer surface of your body. The skin has to cover the entire surface of body. So the skin cells are little bit polygonal in shape. In the same way, my child, will come to suppose if we are going to see the plant cell. The plant cells are little bit rectangular in shape. If we are going to see the plant cell, the plant cells are little bit rectangular in shape. The plant cells are little bit rectangular in shape, my child. And suppose we are going to see the red blood cells. The red blood cells are this shape. If we are going to see the red blood cells, so suppose we are going to see the red blood cells. The red blood cells are little bit this shape, D-I-S, this shape. So the red blood cells are this shape and the plant cells are rectangular, R-E-C-T-A-N-G-U-L-A-R. Plant cells are rectangular in shape. So my children, we are saying that the different cells have the different shape according to the function that they are going to perform. Skin cells in the body, skin cells on the body are polygonal in shape. Plant cells are rectangular in shape, and the red blood cells are dash in the shape. In the same way, my children, suppose if we are going to see the nerve cells, the nerve cells are long and branch. Suppose if we are going to see the nerve cells are long and branch because they have to carry the messages from one part of the body to the another part of the body. Suppose if we are going to see the nerve cells, these nerve cells are long and branch. Nerve cells, N-E-R-V, nerve cells. The nerve cells are long and branched. B-R-A-N-C-H, branch. So my children, we can see the nerve cells. Since the nerve cells has to carry the messages from one part of the body to the another part of the body, that's why these cells are long and branched. So my children, we have seen that the cells are different from one another in number. Some organisms are there whose body is simply made up of only one cell, so they are called the unicellular organism. And those organisms whose body is made up of so many cells, they are called the multicellular organism. So in this way, the cells differ in the number. Then we have seen the cells differ in the size. All the cells are not of the same size. Some cells can be big, some cells can be small. So the size of the cell is from a micrometer to a few centimeter. The different cells will have the different size. Now shape, we have seen that the different cells have the different shape according to the function that they are going to perform in the body. So we have seen that the nerve cells are long and branch, plant cells are rectangular, skin cells are polygonal, and the red blood cells are little bit dish in the shape. So it is the different shapes of the cell. Now my children, after this we will come to the topic that is going to say something about level of organization. Here comes the topic, my child. Level of organization. O-R-G-A-N-I-S-A-T-I-O-N. Level of organization in organisms. Level of organizations in multicellular, M-U-L-T-I-C-E-L-L-U-L-A, multicellular organism. So multicellular, we have seen the cell. Suppose this is the cell. A group of cells join together and they form the tissue. A group of similar cells join and form the tissue. And the tissue join together, similar tissue join together to form the organ. And when a group of organ join, they form the organ system. And when the group of organ system has been formed, they form the complete organism. Complete organism. So my child, it is the level of organization in the multicellular organism. First of all, the body is starting from the cell. Now, a group of similar cells are joining together and they form the tissue. A group of similar cells is joining together. A group of similar cells is joining together and form the tissue. And when a group of tissue join together, they form the organ. For example, the stomach. So much you see, cell, it is the starting unit. When a group of cells join together, they form the tissue. When a group of tissue join together, they form a particular organ. when a group of similar tissue join the form of particular organ, and when the different organs are formed together, when the different organs are joining together, they form the organ system. When the different organs are joining together, they form the organ system, and when so many organ systems have been developed in the body, they form the complete organism. So it is the level of organization in the case of the multicellular organism. Cells form the tissue form the organ, and the organ form the organ system, and the organ system combine together and they form the complete organism. So the level of organization in the case of the multicellular organism. My children, for today till here only. After that we will start our next topic of the lesson, that is in that we will see the different part of the cell. Suppose we have seen the three basic part of the cell membrane, cytoplasm and the nucleus. So in our next class we will see what are the other more essential things which are being present inside the cell. Thank you very much.